Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, and I'm a member here at Trinity Church. And a few weeks ago, shared with Paul Feener, our rector here, my story of working as a volunteer with the youth group here. And he suggested it would be a good idea if I shared that with members of the church. And so we're doing this video so I can do exactly that. And so what I've done is served this church over the last 15 years of my retirement here in a variety of different capacities, from senior warden to the assistant treasurer and all those kinds of things. But I must tell you that since September I've been volunteering for our youth program, and that for me has been one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had in serving God and serving a community and serving the church all together at the same time. So what I wanted to do is share with you what I do with the youth group. And first of all, the youth group here at Trinity is made up of a very diverse group of young people in junior high from 6th grade through 12th grade. And the diversity comes from an apartment complex called Carver Apartments, where the junior and senior high students are youth of color, and we pick them up and bring them here, and they commingle with our family students that are here and share an hour and a half together of prayer, fellowship games, and of course teaching by Joe and Carrie Deswan and Fat Elmore. And I'm just volunteer and happy to be part of that. What I do is go there at 5:15 and pick up a cartload of junior high students, mostly pretty regular junior high boys, and we listen to some music on the way back here, music they choose, curiously enough. And as a trained classical musician, I must say that I've been experiencing cultural rap music that I'd never experienced before, and my first experience of that was to really not acknowledge it. But I've grown to enjoy it, and it's amazing that these young people have all those lyrics memorized from every aspect of it. So we come here to the church, and I wanted to share with you one particular teaching that I thought was extraordinarily moving. It's based on a scripture reading from Proverbs 4:23. And above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And Joe is doing this teaching based on what the heart is and feels and all the emotions connected with that. And specifically at the time when the murder of in Minneapolis happened. So this whole sense of racism was very prevalent and very on top of the news. And so the teaching was on racism. And one of the remarkable things is that he took out two plastic bags, clear plastic bags. Each of them had a piece of a calf's kidney in it, and he passed it around. And of course, the young people would touch it and go, ew, and all those kinds of things. And then he asked each person what the color of the calf might be, or tell them about the calf. And each of them described the calf quite differently in terms of color: brown, black, white. And then we had a discussion about what the heart really means, the organs of the body, of course, but really what does the heart mean relative to this Proverbs? And that we can't really define people by our exterior at all. In fact, it's very hard to define God. God has been depicted and in many different ways by the European culture, of course, as being white, but we don't have any evidence anywhere scripturally that God has a particular color. And so this was a really poignant moment. Later in the teaching, what really spoke to me was this quiet moment at the end when Joe looked each one in the eye and in that quietness said, "I love you and I'm not afraid of you." I must tell you that that was an extraordinarily moving moment for those who were volunteering and for those young people, especially in the moment of the murder in Minneapolis and the whole sense of what young people were feeling at that particular moment. So I wanted to share my excitement with being part of the youth program as just a volunteer, what I'm learning, how excited I am about how Joe, Carrie, and Fat are presenting the gospel message to young people. And the curious thing is, when I've talked to the young people in my car and we're talking about where we're going, and they describe Trinity as their church. This is theirs, they own it. And they own it at 5:30 every Sunday afternoon. There's the kind of liturgy that they have, which is different than what we have in the morning, involves a prayer, some food, and of course a teaching and touching their hearts. For me, that's what has been extraordinarily exciting. So this is just one example of ministries that happen here at Trinity, and I wanted to share that moment with you and invite you to be part of either that youth ministry with me or some of the other ministries that have outreach to the community. So it's important that we at Trinity have two lives to live. One life is the life of the liturgy that we praise and practice on Sundays, and the other is how we bring the message and how our hearts are changed and bring that out in the work of the church. So I invite you to participate and move out of just the liturgy and be part of the community. So you can contact me at janejims@hotmail.com. That's JANEJIMS@hotmail.com. And you can let me know how you might like to participate. You can help make meals or if you're just would like to know that we're doing these kinds of things and want to support that, talk to me about how you can financially support this program. We have designated gifts that do come in from time to time, and the designated gifts go to directly help the youth program and especially those emergency settings that come up, particularly at the Carver Apartments. But thanks to Paul for letting me do this, and Jennifer for inviting me this morning to you, and I hope you enjoyed it. And please do get back to me. Thanks so much for your time.